Hello, everybody. Welcome to round 3 of the Season 1 Slide Job Race League 1987 Retro Thunder. We are here, not too far from going green. Having a little bit of technical difficulties. It's about to be storming pretty bad here. We've got a lot of wind and my internet's cutting in and out. So hopefully we'll be able to make it through the whole stream. Really quickly, let's go ahead and take a look at our grid. We have John A. Martin on our pole position with a 22.842, driving that Chevy Monte Carlo. Right behind him is our winner from last week, Marvin Turnmeyer Jr., second place in the Ford Thunderbird. Third place, Bruce Pearson. Fourth place, Anthony Marshall. Jason Gardner in fifth in the Chevy Thunderbird with a 23.124. Julio Cesar Campagnani in sixth. Best position we've seen, or best start from him we've seen so far. Bill Dart is going to be in seventh. Scott Patton is in eighth. J.W. Miller is in ninth. Diego Asensos is in 10th. And that is going to round out our top 10. We have Marquis Smith in 11th. Corey Cook right behind him in 12th. Corey Steinhauser in 13th. Jade Bell in 14th. Cole Gray in 15th. Tanner Long in 16th. And David Swan in 17th. All of which did not qualify. Pretty small field this week. Probably will have a lot of green flag racing and pit strategy will come into effect. Go ahead and get that grid out of there as we are about to be off. Maybe not. Let's take a look real quick from the cockpit of John Martin. Lights are off on the pace car. Will be green next time by. Hope everybody watching's having a wonderful weekend. Pace car is off. And we're about to be green here with our 16 car field. J.W. Miller got a pretty good jump. Looks like he's going to be our leader for the moment. Overdrove the corner a little bit as John Martin begins to pull away a little bit. About 0.3 of a second separating him and Turnmeyer, and 0.8 of a second separating him from the third place of Bruce Pearson. And we have a caution out already. Let's go ahead and pause and see if we can't figure out who may have been involved in that. I don't see. Oh, there we go. Anthony Marshall might have caused that a little bit. Let's go ahead and rewind here. Figure out what happened. Not quite sure there. Looks like he just lost it on his own and didn't get going, and iRacing pulled the caution for it. Let's go ahead and bring it live. John Martin still your leader. Turnmeyer Jr. right behind him still. Unfortunately, we do not have quick cautions on tracks like this yet, so it'll be 4 or 5 to green, I'd imagine. And with that, we can go ahead and take a look at our point standings really quickie. Messed that up a little bit. We'll have to change that for next week, but first position is Eric Mickey with 360 points. and 35 points separating him from J.W. Miller, currently in second place in the points standings. Caden Atkins, our week 1 winner, 293 points, putting him in third place. Curtis Granger, sitting fourth position, 293 points. Oh, nope, tied for third place. My apologies. Tied for third there with Caden Atkins. Davey Hendricks sitting in fifth with 289 points, and that will round out your top 5. Go ahead and look at the middle of the pack there for our leaderboard. Dylan Parker, Chris Kiwis, Shane Minish are all sitting roughly 17th to 20th. Still have lights on the pace car. Surprisingly small field this week. I knew a lot of people were, letting the group know in Discord they weren't going to make it. So hopefully that will come into play, and we have a lot of pit strategy. Lights are finally off, so we're going to be 1 to green. Take a look at the Summit paint scheme of our leader, John Martin. He's currently down in 30th in point standings. Marvin Turnmeyer Jr. behind him in second, currently sitting in 10th after his win last week. And Bruce Pearson's going to be third in the Ford Thunderbird Crown, currently sitting in 8th. And we're green. John Martin got a very good jump, it looks like. Already a half a second separating him and Turnmeyer in second place there. It's going to be interesting to see if he is driving the car too hard at all, as with this short of a field, as long as nobody makes mistakes on cold tires like we saw there last time, we should get green flag runs in and hopefully multiple green flag pit stops. Turnmeyer looks to be cutting into that lead a little bit there. Currently half a second still separating Turnmeyer and Pearson. Let's go ahead and look at a little further back now. We've got Jason Gardner, and it sounded like somebody might have gotten into a wall. No caution thrown, so it looks like it might have just been a little bit of a tap. Currently have Gardner sitting in 15th position. And I don't know why, it doesn't like giving me my camera angle, but he has his name on his helmet, and he's super proud of it. Was going to try to show it off, but it never likes giving me the camera angle I have set up for him. But that is Jason Gardner, currently 15th overall in point standings. J.W. Miller is currently sitting in 5th, 2nd overall in points. Trying to catch up to that number 93 machine. Looks like he might be blinking a little bit again. Marquis Smith's behind J.W. Miller, driving the number 10 Chevy Monte Carlo. He is currently sitting in 14th position. He's had some bad luck getting tied up in some accidents the last couple of races, even though he's been having a pretty fast car. So hopefully with this shorter field, he's able to fight for a top spot and able to keep it clean. As he starts to make a move on the J.W. Miller 36. Currently about 3 seconds separating him and John Martin, who is still your leader. Turnmeyer is gaining on him slowly but surely. If he keeps it up, it'll only be a couple more laps before he's fighting him for the spot. As it looks like Jason Gardner now is starting to fall back, lose position to J.W. Miller and Marquis Smith. And not quite sure what happened there, but Turnmeyer must have overdrove a corner or something, as there's about a half second now separating him and Martin. So we go ahead and back up to the field. Corey Cook in the Pepsi Challenger machine, currently 22nd overall in points. Looks like the field spread out quite a bit. We do have Jade Bell battling Corey Cook for that number 8 position. Bill Dart kind of just hanging back and watching what's going on. He's currently 16th overall in points. Started this race in 7th position. Currently is falling back to 10th. We've got about 6 laps under green now. Probably about 12 overall. And I believe we have tire sets 6 for this race total. So it's going to be interesting to see who pits first if we have another 20 or so laps. So we go ahead and take a look at Julio Cesar Compagnani. He started in 6th place. He's currently sitting in 13th. Diego Ascensos in front of him, I'm assuming teammate, rocking the same purple OCA paint scheme, sitting in 12th. Believe Diego finished pretty well last week. He's sitting overall 11th place in the point standings. So he's had pretty consistent finishes, it seems. As it appears he overdrove that corner just a little bit. Let's go ahead and look at Anthony Marshall. He's trying to take the 14th place away from that 65 car of Corey Steinhauser. Steinhauser favoring that midline, and Anthony Marshall trying to take him low on the inside. Looks like he might be getting a bit of a run, but he's backing it up way early into that turn to make sure he can hold that low line, and he's losing position to Steinhauser because of it. And at some point, Turnmeyer Jr. took away the pole position from John Martin. So we go ahead and look behind him. It's about a half second separating him and Martin now. We have Turnmeyer, Martin, and Marquis Smith, who's worked his way up from 5th position to 3rd place now since the last time we looked at him. In the shiny black and gold Chevy Monte Carlo. 14th overall in position, sitting 3rd right now. Everybody viewing, thanks for joining us. This is the round 3 of the 1987 Retro Thunder Slide Job Race League. We are currently at Richmond with a pretty small field compared to the last couple of races. Only 16 drivers are registered for this event. We've usually seen about 30 plus, as it looks like John Martin tapped the wall a little bit coming out of the turn there. A whole second separating him and Turnmeyer now. Let's go ahead and look at the 5 of Jason Gardner real quick. He's trying to catch up to that J.W. Miller machine, who's currently in 4th position. Let's look at Jade Bell in the Bass Pro Shops 14 Chevy Monte Carlo. 26 laps currently on the books here at Richmond. Puts us about 10% of the way. Focusing in on Bill Dart now, currently in 11th, 16th overall in points. He's trying to catch up to Tanner Long. He's currently sitting in 10th. And Anthony Marshall still in the pits. Not sure if he's getting work done or what. He may have just dropped after spinning out there. As we go ahead and look at Bruce Pearson, who has Scott Patton on the inside of him. He's trying to take him for that 6th position, and he does. Scott Patton is now in 6th. See if Patton can work his way up to Jason Gardner in that 93 car. Patton currently sitting 39th overall in points. Still about a second separating. Oh, look at that. Second separating Martin, but a lot more than that, as I'm not entirely sure what happened. Let's go ahead and rewind it. I don't think the caution is going to be thrown. Looks like he might have just came out too hot of that turn there. Yep. Tapped the wall and just threw him right into the infield there. And he was able to get it straight and only tap the side of the car, so shouldn't be too much damage. Let's go ahead and bring it live. No caution, but that is going to put Turnmeyer Jr. 2 seconds ahead of everybody else. Marquis Smith sitting in 2nd place, followed by J.W. Miller in 3rd, Jason Gardner in 4th, Scott Patton in 5th, Corey Cook in 6th, and Bruce Pearson in 7th. And it looks like John Martin may have retired. So we go ahead and focus back on Turnmeyer Jr. Was your winner last week. Can he do it back to back? Currently sitting 10th in points. That'll definitely probably jump him up in the top 5. As 37 laps are now on the books. 33 laps are now on the books. I'm sorry. Turnmeyer Jr. has led about to be 13 of them. He started in 2nd place. And there is 2 seconds between him and Marquis Smith, who is currently your 2nd place position. J.W. Miller, Jason Gardner, Scott Patton rounds out your top 5. Corey Cook, Bruce Pearson, Jade Bell, Tanner Long, and Bill Dart will round out your top 10. And we currently have 14 drivers on the track here. Everyone's spread out quite a bit. Let's go ahead and see. Jason Gardner trying to work his way to J.W. Miller. He's had a pretty rough go of it too recently. He was upside down in Daytona week 1. Got tangled up in some mess last week as well, which cost him some speed. But overall, he's sitting 15th in points, so definitely has a chance to finish top of the group here in the next few weeks with a couple good finishes. Turnmeyer Jr. is still gaining on Smith as J.W. Miller starts blinking again. trying to take Marquis Smith for that second position. Oh, and he looks like he just pushed him right out of the way. As caution is thrown, let's go ahead and replay real quick. Let's get it from the JW Miller's perspective. Take it slow. Marquis Smith, no, Marquis Smith tapped the wall coming onto the turn, and not much JW Miller could do. Gave him a little bump, but Marquis Smith was probably going down there either way. Bad break for Smith. Bad break for Miller. Let's go ahead and see if we can't see what kind of damage he sustained. Not too bad. A little bit there on the right front side. But that should probably only be 10-15 seconds maybe in the pits. So we go ahead and bring it live. Looks like everybody's going to be heading down here as we have 40 laps down. Probably 44 laps down by the time we go green again. JW Miller's probably going to take care of that damage, and I would imagine everybody is grabbing tires. While we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the league rules real quick. Fixed setup, 6 tires in total, only 5 sets in the pits. 50% fuel capacity on these cars. So as such, it's a 50% race length of the 1987 season. Try to encourage a few more pit stops and bring pit strategy into play. There are going to be 0 fast repairs unless we are at a super speedway, so all damage sustained is going to stick around with you, as it looks like Corey Cook in that Pepsi Challenger machine has some left front damage that he did not take care of. We have double file restarts, lap cars are going to be on the inside, and there are no lucky dogs or wave arounds. Let's go ahead and get that out of our way. Everybody who is watching, thank you very much. This is the 1987 Retro Thunder Slide Job Race League Season 3 race at Richmond. JW Miller is currently sitting in 6th position. He was in 3rd, unfortunately tapped to the back of Marquis Smith, who ran himself up into a wall. Cost him some time as he got some of that damage taken care of, it looks like. Tanner Long is going to be your first place leader. He's currently 6th overall in standings, as he's been pretty lucky at keeping his car clean and avoiding a lot of these wrecks we've seen. Let's go ahead and look who is in the voice chat. See if any of our leaders are available for an interview. Looks like Marquis Smith might have retired. He was in Discord just a moment ago. Corey Cook is in 2nd, 22nd position overall. He started in 10th, currently in 2nd, so 42 laps, worked his way up through past 8 cars. He has sustained some damage though, so we'll have to keep an eye on that and see if that costs him some speed. Behind him is Turnmeyer Jr., who's led about half of our race so far. He's currently in 3rd. Let's go ahead and see what the pace car is doing. Lights are off on the pace car, so we are going to be green next time by. And it is getting pretty windy here outside, so like I said, I was having some technical difficulties earlier, so if the stream does disappear for a minute, hopefully the power doesn't stay off too long and it will be back on shortly. So stick around if that does happen, just giving everybody a fair warning. We're about to be green here at Richmond on lap 44. Tanner Long is your leader. Let's see if he can hold off Corey Cook and Turnmeyer Jr. And we are off. Tanner Long, Corey Cook, Turnmeyer Jr., you're 1, 2, 3, as Cook makes a bit of a move on the inside. And Cook takes him. Turnmeyer Jr. making a move as well. Tanner Long is going to fall into 3rd place as Corey Cook is your leader. Let's see if Corey Cook can hold off Turnmeyer Jr. because he's been mighty fast all day. I'm seeing about a half a second or so between Turnmeyer Jr. and Corey Cook. Corey Cook seems to be preferring that midline as well, whereas Turnmeyer Jr. seems to be keeping it pretty low as he makes a move on the inside. Let's go ahead and take it from this perspective. Corey Cook, nice helmet with the Pepsi scheme all around. And it looks like Cook got a little bit of speed and was able to hold Turnmeyer off. Jason Gardner and Scott Patton and J.W. Miller all managed to take position on Tanner Long as he is now sitting down in 7th, as Turnmeyer Jr. seems to be getting a little bit of speed now on Corey Cook. We've got Thunderbird versus Monte Carlo. We have Turnmeyer Jr. on the inside. He had some speed. Does he have enough to take it into this corner? Oh, he thought he had it. But not quite, as Turnmeyer Jr. falls back. Currently about 0.3 of a second separating him and Cook. Gardner and Patton trying to catch up. Currently about a second almost separating Gardner and Patton from Cook, as this battle for first is starting to heat up. And we have cautions out, cautions out. Let's go ahead and see what happened there. Still have damage on the right front for the J.W. Miller machine. Jade Bell looks clean. Julio Cesar Compagnani's alright. Diego Ascensos, I'm not quite sure what caused that. Interesting. Let's go ahead and see if anyone ducks down pit lane, see if anybody got some damage they're going to try to take care of from that. We have the number 9 car of Diego Ascensos hopping down pit lane. Let's go ahead and rewind on him while we make our pace laps. Keith believes it was position 12, I'm thinking, which is Corey Steinhauser, currently 37th overall in points. Let's go ahead and see if we can't rewind on him and take a look at what happened. 50 laps down of 200 here at Richmond, about 25% of the way, with about 25% of the lead currently in the race. 13 drivers still on the field. Yep, that's exactly what it was. Self-spin by the number 65 there of Corey Steinhauser. The tires probably weren't exactly warm yet for him. Didn't have quite as much grip as he did a few laps ago, and yeah, just going into the turn a little too fast there. Luckily, the 9 car of Ascensos was able to get by. Let's go ahead and bring it live. We have Corey Cook as your leader. Hopefully the audio quality is a little bit better this week. Trying to fix all the little issues as they crop up as they go. If anybody has any suggestions for the stream, feel free to throw them out. They are all appreciated. Turnmeyer Jr., Jason Gardner are going to be your second, third positions. Scott Patton is in 4th. J.W. Miller is in 5th. Tanner Long managed to move up a little bit, currently sitting in 6th position in front of Bruce Pearson, the number 20 machine, currently sitting in 7th, 8th overall in the point standings. Behind him is Jade Bell in the 14 Bass Pro Shops. Bill Dart currently sitting in 9th. Cole Gray in 10th. Diego Ascensos in 9th. Corey Steinhauser in 12th. And Julio Cesar Compagnani must have just been coming out of the pits. He's currently rounding out your drivers in the 13th position. Let's go ahead and focus back on Corey Cook. Look at the pace car. Lights are off, so we are going to be green now next time by. And pace car is off. Corey Cook's about to be taking us green on lap 54 of 200 here at Richmond, and we are green. Corey Cook, Turnmeyer Jr., and Jason Gardner, 1, 2, 3. As we've got Turnmeyer holding that inside line. It's definitely finding a lot of speed down there. Corey Cook looks like he's moving down there a little bit more and more as he's trying to hold off Turnmeyer. Seems like he's figuring out what he's doing to gain speed, but he is still kind of holding that groove in between the lower and middle groove. About 0.2 of a second now between Cook and Turnmeyer. About a half second between Turnmeyer and Gardner. So Cook and Turnmeyer are definitely our faster cars at the moment. And which is interesting because Cook definitely has a little bit of damage on that left side of his car. And a little bit of damage on the right side of his car, if you notice too. He must have got into a fight with the wall a little bit. And the wall didn't quite win, but definitely left a mark. As there's about a half second now separating Cook and Turnmeyer. J.W. Miller overtakes Scott Pearson for... Oh, nope, that's not Scott Pearson. That was Scott Patton, I am sorry. Overtook Scott Patton for the 4th position as J.W. Miller starts catching up to Jason Gardner. And looks like Turnmeyer's just kind of hanging out, getting some racing in. Don't personally believe that he's going all out here. Just thought about making the move there though. Corey Cook's been holding that middle groove a little bit more. And there we go. We've got Corey Cook getting all the way down to the apron now. Can hear him accelerating out of that turn a little bit earlier. And J.W. Miller starts blinking a bit. That has to be annoying for Jason Gardner. Turnmeyer Jr. starts to get right on the bumper of the Pepsi Challenger machine driven by Corey Cook. And interesting turn of events. Turnmeyer decides to take the middle groove for once. Looks like there's a bit of a battle heating up between Gardner and Patton. As Patton makes a bit of a move on the inside. But is not able to take away the 4th position from Gardner just yet. As he sticks and noses there on the entrance of the turn. Can he make it stick all the way out? Looks like he does as he makes Jason Gardner lift. Hopefully he doesn't do that too many more times as it looks like Turnmeyer Jr. gets a little squirrely into that turn. And he loses position to J.W. Miller and Scott Patton, perhaps maybe even Gardner, as Cook is your leader by a little over a second now, as Turnmeyer falls all the way to 4th. As he tries to take away the 3rd from Scott Patton now. 62 laps down here. At Richmond. Turnmeyer Jr. 20 laps led out of 63. Might still be your laps led leader. Might not be. He's currently 10th overall in points. Let's go ahead and look at Cook, who has 19 laps led himself. He's about to overtake the 28 machine of Turnmeyer Jr. for most laps led. As J.W. Miller is now right behind him, only about 0.2 of a second separating them. And they both have been taking that middle line. And it seems that everybody has kind of worked their way down to the inside line as they watched all the fast guys and kind of have all adapted. JW Miller keeps blinking out. It's got to be psyching out the 29 of Patton. .21 laps led now for the Monte Carlo of Corey Cook. He's doing a pretty good job of holding everybody off. We'll see if he's able to keep it up. The pack is bunched up a little bit more than it has been. Don't know if people are just having a little bit of an issue passing him or if everyone's just getting a little bit faster. Let's go ahead and look at the Turnmeyer machine. He's currently still sitting in fourth. About 0.8 of a second separating him and Cook. As it looks like Miller, thought he was going in on the inside, but he is still just blinking out with damage on that right front as he gets awfully close to that wall. So it looks like he might start getting a run on Cook. Let's join JW Miller in the cockpit real quick. And take a look at that damage on the Pepsi Challenger. Surprised that's not causing him any speed issues. As we go ahead and join Patton now, currently in third. As we get a view of our first and second positions fighting for that lead. Turnmeyer Jr. in fourth, Jason Gardner in fifth will round out your top five. Jade Bell's worked his way back to sixth position. Took it back from Tanner Long. Bruce Pearson's going to be 8th, Bill Dart in 9th, Cole Gray currently sitting in 10th as we have J.W. Miller making the move on Corey Cook. And he has it coming out of turn 4 is currently our leader. He's going to lead lap 69, lap 70, I'm sorry. As Scott Pearson goes on the inside of Cook. Don't know what's going on with Corey, if he overdrove and he's lost tires or what. But he is losing position as it looks like Turnmeyer Jr. might be taking it from him too. Corey Cook battling to keep Turnmeyer behind him so he can stay in top 3. Appreciate the input, Keith. I will play around with that for next week. And it looks like we have Corey Cook making the move on Scott Patton, trying to take second place back. Turnmeyer Jr. is still hanging out there in 4th, but he's now going to be in 3rd from Scott Patton, who might have overdrove that turn a little bit. Corey Cook currently sitting in 2nd place after leading for 26 laps. Might have even been 26 consecutive laps. Trying to think, I don't think he lost any. It is some pretty great racing going on. I don't think Cook lost any position, so I think that was 26 laps led in a row. As he tries to catch up to J.W. Miller, is currently about a half second behind him though. Turnmeyer Jr. has worked his way up to 3rd as he starts to gain a little bit of speed there on Cook. Let's go ahead and look a little bit behind the leaders for a moment. Currently looking at the back of Scott Patton's Ford Thunderbird. He's currently sitting in 4th place, 39th overall in the point standings. We have Jason Gardner right behind him. Tanner Long and Jade Bell are battling it out for that 6th position, both of which drive in Monte Carlos. Bill Dart's trying to catch up to Bruce Pearson in that 20 machine for 8th position. And we have caution again. As we go ahead and pause now, try to take a look at what happened. Could it have been Julio's just losing it? No. Doesn't quite look like that was it. Doesn't look like anybody changed position, so I don't believe it was anything major. Luckily we have Keith, who's I'm assuming is in the Discord channel. Oh no, it was the 41 car of Cole Gray. And I think he might have just lost it on his own accord as well. Let's go ahead and rewind on him real quick, because it looks like everybody headed down pit lane. It's been almost 40 laps since they all took tires last, or at least since the majority have took tires last. There we go. We have the 41 of Cole Gray. Coming out of turn 4. Does he get into the wall? Yep, he just smacks the wall a little bit. We've seen that twice already this race now. You hit that wall coming out of turn 4. It looks like the infield is where you're going to go. And it looks like he was the only one involved in that, as the 26 manages to get by. Let's go ahead and bring it live again. JW Miller is still going to be your leader. As we still have lights on the pace car. Scott Patton managed to move up to second place coming off of pit lane. Turnmeyer Jr. is in third, Corey Cook in fourth. Let's go ahead and bring Corey Cook in the booth real quick. Hey Corey, it's Travis in the broadcast booth. How's it going?
Going fine. How about you?
Pretty good, man. You are currently our laps led leader. You've led about 3/5 of the race now. How are you feeling with the car out there?
Pretty good. Hoping I can make up for what happened last week.
Yeah, last week was an unfortunate turn of events. What happened on your left side? We didn't quite catch that, but you definitely got some damage going on your left. What happened there?
Uh, so some on the beginning of runs, this car can be very loose. I'm assuming because of the cold tires. And so whenever I got into one, I got loose. Thankfully, I didn't hit anybody, but I did hit the inside wall a little bit.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, it's been a really clean race. So far, all of our cautions have been self-inflicted. People just kind of smacking the wall and running into the infield or just spinning out. Um, do you happen to know why we have such a short group today?
I was told that a lot of people have taken provisions. I don't know if they're intimidated by the car or something, but I mean, they ain't gonna get better if they don't race them.
Right on. Well, it looks like lights went off on the pace car, so best of luck to you, Corey. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to that might be watching the stream or the replay later?
My family, just for supporting me through all this.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you, man.
Thank you.
And everybody, that was Corey Cook, currently sitting in 4th position in the Pepsi Challenger machine. Behind him is Jason Gardner in that 93 car. And we are green, green, green here on Richmond. Lap 82 of 100. JW Miller blinking a little bit. And it looks like he's battling the trying to not be lap down traffic of Jade Bell. Jade Bell on the inside of him. JW Miller's been riding that inside line all day. Oh, and look at that. Right behind us, we got a wreck. Let's go ahead and pause it real quick. See if we can't figure out who's involved there. 28 machine of Turnmeyer Jr. No way. Let's go ahead and back it up. Turnmeyer Jr. again was our winner last week. And he's been running pretty fast all day, as you see, 19 laps led. Let's go ahead and change the camera view a little bit there and slow it down. We've got Jade Bell and J.W. Miller in front of him. Corey Cook, we were just speaking to in the 61 Pepsi Challenger behind him, looking to make a move on the inside. Going into the turn, Turnmeyer's getting a little sideways. Oh, and it looks like, yep, we've seen it again. Trying to adjust to those tires in these cars can make a big difference, and they do not like being cold. Luckily, it looks like everybody manages to stay clean, and the 28 of Turnmeyer Jr. is going to be the only one with a bit of damage. J.W. Miller is going to be your leader, and Corey Cook's going to move up to second place during all that as we go ahead and take it live now. Jade Bell currently a lap down behind J.W. Miller. As we've got a bit of time, so we can go ahead and drag J.W. Miller down here to the broadcast booth. Hey there, JW. It's Travis from the broadcast booth. How you doing today?
I'm doing alright. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How's the car feel out there for you?
It's feeling pretty good. We're feeling alright on the long run here, so.
Good to hear. How important do you think the tire set limit is going to come into play here? It seems to be that everyone's taken 2 sets of tires, at least from what we can see, which should leave 3 in the pits. Do you think that's going to come into major play?
I've only taken 2. Well, we had 6 extra sets. I've taken 2, so I have 4 left. But, yeah, it's definitely important to keep those tires around just in case there are a couple yellows at the end that, you can make sure that you're on the freshest rubber possible to stay out front. But looks like 2 tires over 30 lap run definitely isn't going to work, so I think it's going to be 4 tires mostly from most of the guys up front, I think.
Gotcha. Is that damage you have on your right front there costing you any speed?
No, car feels alright. I was able to get most of it fixed. I think I only had about, like 20 seconds of damage, so that wasn't too bad. It was just from Marcus hitting my right front there when he hit the wall, but other than that, I think we're alright.
Good to hear. You're currently sitting second overall in points. Do you think you can keep this pace up and battle for a top 5 for the rest of the season?
Well, we're gonna hope so. We'll have to see how many of the fast guys turn out to how many of the races, but I'll definitely try and be here each week, so hopefully we can definitely stay up here and fight for the points lead.
All right, good to hear. Well, lights just went off on the pace car, so I'll go ahead and drag you up so you can get ready to race. Appreciate your time and good luck to you the rest of the race. And everybody, that was J.W. Miller in the 36 Chevy Monte Carlo. He is currently your leader, and we are about to be green here at Richmond with 87 laps down. And the pace car is off. Green, green, green. J.W. Miller, Corey Cook, Jason Gardner, your 1, 2, 3. Scott Patton right behind them. Marvin Turnmeyer Jr., after causing that caution, fell all the way to 11th. And let's go ahead and grab Corey Cook. J.W. Miller's blinking a little bit too much there, as there's about a half second now between Miller and Cook, as we'll go ahead and join him in the cockpit. Jade Bell almost lost it. He's going down. Lap traffic there. Luckily, he was able to keep it clean. No caution thrown. Now, Jason Gardner. Oh, Jason Gardner. He loses it. And the caution is going to get thrown for that one. I think that Mr. Gardner just came into the turn a bit too hot. Let's go ahead and rewind. Change our camera position real quick and take it into slow motion. Viewing the replay. He's trying to take the middle line now. And it looks like coming out of that turn, he might have just had that steering wheel turned a little bit to the left. And he just lost it a little bit, locking them brakes up, sliding down. Doesn't hit a wall, doesn't hit anything. So it looks like it's going to be clean caution. And we'll go ahead and bring it live. And he is going to head down pit lane. Let's go ahead and see what the 93 of Jason Gardner decides to do. Got Gardner taking at least right side tires. See if he goes for 2 tires or 4 tires. And JW Miller's theory seems to be right. Taking 4 tires so far. Let's go ahead and look at our race summary real quick. 6 cautions so far. 26 caution laps with only 4 lead changes. So it seems like once someone takes the lead, they're hanging out there for around 20 laps or so. I currently have 109 laps left, so we're about halfway through. J.W. Miller, Corey Cook, Scott Patton are going to be your 1, 2, 3 as Jason Gardner catches up to the rest of the pack before we go green. Do still have lights on the pace car though, and we do still have a blinky J.W. Miller. Still have lights on the pace car. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather conditions as it starts to get a little darker out here. Track temp is currently still 77 degrees, um, down about 5 degrees or so from the beginning of the race. Air temperature is currently 75 degrees with a 6-mile-an-hour wind speed here at Richmond Raceway for round 3 of the Slide Job Race League 1987 Retro Thunder Series. As we are waiting for the lights to go off on the pace car to bring us green again. Currently looks like we only have 12 cars still running as lights are off, so we're about to be green. We have J.W. Miller with Jade Bell on the inside, Corey Cook right behind him as the pace car is off. J.W. Miller puts it to the floor, and we are green here at Richmond Raceway, lap 95. J.W. Miller, Jade Bell, Corey Cook, Scott Patton, and Bruce Pearson are going to be... Oh, Corey Cook gets into the wall a little bit. Just trying to get around Jade Bell so we can fight J.W. Miller for that lead spot again. But Jade Bell does not want to give that position up. There are no lucky dogs or wave rounds, so laps cars do have a little bit more of a reason to fight for position as opposed to some of your other leagues. And we're about to have a caution again. Looks like Compagnani got caught in something. Nope, Turnmeyer Jr. got caught in something. Let's go ahead and rewind that a little bit again. He was losing it for a while. He went from the top to the bottom and all the way back to the top. Let's go ahead and change our camera position and slow it down now. Following Turnmeyer Jr. Got sideways a little bit on that turn. Looks like he might have overcorrected just a bit. Luckily, he doesn't hit Bill Dart, but he does get into Tanner Long and collects the 41 a bit of Cole Gray as Turnmeyer Jr. gets up into the wall and sustains the most damage. Let's go ahead and look at Cole Gray. Not too much going on there. And Tanner Long looks like he might have gotten by without much damage as well. Let's go ahead and bring us live and see if anyone ducks down into the pits. We do have Tanner Long, Diego Ascensos, 41 of Cole Gray, and Jason Gardner ducking in. We just saw Jason Gardner take tires last time by. I do see a little bit of damage though on his left driver's side, so he's probably just going to be trying to get some of that work done. J.W. Miller, Corey Cook, Scott Patton remain your 1, 2, 3. And no Turnmeyer Jr. in Discord to drag down. See if we can see that work getting done to the car of Jason Gardner. Not sure if he's got other damage they were working on or what. But we do have Cole Gray and Tanner Long coming off pit road. Turnmeyer Jr., not sure if he even went in. Still got quite a bit of damage there on that 28 AutoZone Thunderbird. With 100 laps to go, we'll see if he's able to battle for position or if that damage costs him some speed or maybe even his engine. With 100 laps to go, some of that damage can make your engine run a little hot, and next thing you know, you've got 10 laps to go and you go poof. And that is not a good feeling. So we'll see if Turnmeyer Jr. takes care of some of that damage a little later on. Let's go ahead and look at our current standings. J.W. Miller's in first. Corey Cook is in second. Scott Patton in third. Bruce Pierce in fourth. And Bill Dart will round out your top five. Turnmeyer Jr. not far behind him with all that damage in sixth. Diego Ascensos in seventh. Cole Gray in eighth. Tanner Long in ninth. Jason Gardner sitting in 10th. Julio, we just had that update a little bit. Julio Cesar Compagnani moved all the way up to 8th. Cole Gray currently sitting 9th. Tanner Long in 10th. Jason Gardner in 11th. And Jade Bell in 9th with 9 laps down. And that will round out all of your drivers currently still driving on the field. Marquise Smith has retired. John Martin has retired. Anthony Marshall has retired as well. And the pace car is off. We are about to be green here with J.W. Miller as he is off. We are green, 102 laps down, 97 to go here at Richmond. Corey Cook about 7/10 of a second behind Miller. Patton about a tenth of a second behind Cook. And I just cannot talk this afternoon. As we go ahead and look at Patton trying to fight Cook for the second position. As it looks like Cook gets into the wall a little bit. Turnmeyer Jr. is still sitting in 6th, so it doesn't look like that damage is costing him too much speed. as we go ahead and join Cook in the cockpit now. Trying to get around Jade Bell. That lap down traffic has been difficult. He has not been giving an inch. As it looks like Cook finally gets the run on him. They're door to door now going into the turn. And Cook does get the run as Corey Cook now passes Jade Bell. And we'll see what he has to say about J.W. Miller keeping that first position. Jade Bell. Oh, Corey Cook. Can he do it? No, J.W. Miller. He had the run on him, but he couldn't hold it as Cook scrubs up a little bit. Hopefully they don't touch. J.W. Miller's probably going to get the run and remain your leader. I don't know who got that one. That was pretty close. Cook and Miller battling for first. Cook's got the speed there on that lower line. We've seen it all day. And, oh, Jade Bell almost loses it, but Corey Cook is now your leader. Let's see if he can hold off Turnmeyer Jr. Or J.W. Miller, I'm sorry. Turnmeyer Jr. is back there, but he has worked his way up to 4th position from 6th. So that damage is not holding him back at all. As it looks like Cook is going to be able to hold that lead for the moment. Let's go ahead and look at the rear of Jade Bell's car. Scott Patton in 3rd place. He's trying to battle Bell so he can try to catch up to Cook and Miller. And we have Turnmeyer Jr. here now. Worked his way up to 4th after causing that caution and sustaining quite a bit of damage. But it does not seem to be affecting him at all. Bruce Pearson in that Crown number 20 machine in 5th position, right behind Turnmeyer Jr. Diego Asensos, the number 9 car, is currently running in 6th. Right behind him is Julio Cesar Campagnani, and Bill Dart in the number 7 machine is trying to battle Campagnani for that 7th position. As we go ahead and join our leaders again, J.W. Miller is trying to catch up to Corey Cook. Still about a 2/10 of a second gap between them. We'll see if Corey Cook is able to hold this lead over the long run. Cook with 31 laps led, about a quarter of the race, little over, is probably your laps led leader. As Patton is still trying to battle Jade Bell for the opportunity to catch up to these two. And we see Miller kind of holding on to that inside line now. He's been going back and forth between the middle line and the lower line. Turnmeyer Jr. trying to catch up to Scott Patton. Doesn't look to be gaining too much ground, but he's also not losing any ground to Bruce Pearson, who's in 5th. Let's keep an eye on Turnmeyer, especially if we get some green flag runs and require some green flag pit stops, which I don't believe we've had yet. Could get interesting for the 28 car as we go ahead and join Corey Cook again in our lead. Cook gaining a bit of ground on Miller, between 0.3 of a second or so, separating the two of them. Let's go ahead and take a look at Scott Patton. Looks like he was finally to make his way around the Jade Bell car. He was, so we finally have top 3 starting to be pack racing now as J.W. Miller manages to get down on the inside of Cook. And once again, we've got J.W. Miller on the inside line, which has been the faster line all day, it seems. Coming onto the turn, we'll see who's got the speed. Cook has it. He will be your leader for lap 117. Let's see if he can get down low. Maybe take that line back away from J.W. Miller. But he does leave a lot of room and wasn't able to do it. Cook starting to back it up a lot into that turn now. Don't know if it's because his tires are losing some grip or if it's because he knew he was going to have to take that middle line. But I am still showing Cook as your leader. Definitely getting an interesting battle though. Looks like J.W. Miller might have got below that apron a little bit and wasn't able to get the speed that he was looking for. Scott Patton has finally worked his way up, as it looks like J.W. Miller's worked his way up to first position. He has it. J.W. Miller's going to be your leader for lap 119. See how long Corey Cook will put up with that. Scott Patton not too far behind. Marvin Turnmeyer Jr. is going to be fourth place. He's still trying to battle Jade Bell for position though, as Corey Cook has settled down and is firmly behind the J.W. Miller car at this point. Three-tenths of a second now between Miller and Cook. 3/10 of a second between Cook and Patton. So I wonder if tire wear is starting to become an issue for Cook. Corey Cook currently in 22nd position overall in points after a couple bad breaks the last couple of races. Starting to gain a little bit of position on Patton, but doesn't quite look like he's gaining on Miller yet. As we rewind to Turnmeyer Jr., who has managed to pass Jade Bell, trying to work his way up to Scott Patton and Corey Cook. However, there's at least a second and a half, I'd say, between Turnmeyer and that lead pack. Let's go ahead and take a look at Julio Cesar Campagnani. He's currently in 6th position. Doesn't look like there's really many people around him. We've got that 7 car of Bill Dart behind him and partner Diego Ascensos in the behind him as well. Bruce Pearson in that blue number 20 car is going to be the next person to contend with Jade Bell, the lap down traffic, if he manages to make his way up to him. As we go ahead and take a look at our leader again, J.W. Miller. A little over half a second now separating Miller and Cook, so he's starting to run away a little bit. Miller, Cook, Patton, your 1, 2, 3. Turnmeyer Jr. does not seem to be gaining too much ground on this lead pack, but he is going to be in 4th position with Bruce Pearson behind him. Currently 12 cars still running. A bit of track between all of them. Looks like we might finally have our green flag run here. Currently about 25 laps since the green flag last dropped. J.W. Miller, Corey Cook both holding that apron on that turn. As Patton keeps trying to work his way up, but Corey Cook's keeping him a firm 0.4 of a second or more behind him, pretty much at all times. J.W. Miller, 47 laps led. He is definitely your laps led leader. Corey Cook right behind him. Let's take a look at Turnmeyer Jr., see if he's gaining any ground. A little over 2 seconds separating him and Miller. Bruce Pearson is going to be behind Turnmeyer Jr. in 5th position. Julio Cesar Campagnani is right behind him in 6th. As we go ahead and take a look at Corey Cook. Looks like we've got... Oh, Corey Cook slaps the wall. Turnmeyer Jr. Oh, okay. Got a little lucky there. I thought Turnmeyer Jr. was going to come right into the ass end of him. No caution flag thrown there. As Corey Cook now falls into 4th. And it is going to be Scott Patton in 2nd trying to catch up to J.W. Miller. Currently about half a second separating the two of them. Scott Patton currently 39th overall in points standings. J.W. Miller in 1st, Scott Patton in 2nd, Turnmeyer Jr. in 3rd here at round 3 of the Slide Job Race League 1987 Retro Thunder Series. Currently driving the Ford Thunderbird is Scott Patton. Turnmeyer Jr. is a firm 2.5 seconds behind that lead pack. That damage seems to definitely be causing him a little bit of speed as he's losing ground on them with each passing lap. So we go ahead and focus on Corey Cook, who slapped the wall a couple laps ago and dropped down from 2nd to 4th. He is trying to catch up to Turnmeyer Jr. to regain a top 3 spot. So we go ahead and look at Bruce Pearson now. He's been hanging around in 5th for quite some time. 8th overall in point standings, so I'm sure he'll be very happy with the top 5 if things were to shake out how they are now until the very end. 137 laps down now. We are getting close to race time here. As we go ahead and look at Diego Ascensos, looks to have a little bit of damage there on his right front as well. He is trying to keep Jason Gardner, the number 93 car, behind him. We've got the 41 car, Cole Gray. He's showing some damage still too. Let's go ahead and look at Turnmeyer Jr. now, who's fallen almost 5 seconds behind the leader. As J.W. Miller just does not seem to be letting up. Over half a second separating him and Patton now. Turnmeyer Jr. is still about 5 seconds behind the leaders. And Corey Cook still seems to be at least a second and a half behind Turnmeyer Jr. Bruce Pearson trying to catch up to Jade Bell, who is still lapped down traffic. And we've got the 26 car and the 7 car of Bill Dart battling for 6th position. As the 26 car looks like he had a little bit of a run on him, but he was sliding up the track. Bill Dart is going to remain in 6th going into this next turn. Julio Cesar Compagnani is trying to race him for that spot, though. Got quite a bit of damage there on that 26 machine. As Bill Dart's able to hold him off. Compagnani, 11th overall in points. We have the 93 of Jason Gardner right behind them. ...143 laps down here so far at Richmond. And it looks like Cole Gray was able to take away the 8th position from Gardner. As we may not have a battle in the front, but we got a little bit of pack racing going on in the middle. Bill Dart's able to separate himself from the 26 car of Compagnani. Diego Ascensos is trying to catch up to the likes of Gardner and Cole Gray. It looks like Cole Gray starting to get a run now on the 26th of Compagnani. Compagnani took that middle line, and Cole Gray was able to find a little bit of speed close to that apron in that corner. And Compagnani rights his wrong there and gets a little down a little bit more. Let's see if the 26 takes the middle again here. No. Seems to be Compagnani likes that middle line in 1 and 2. As Cole Gray makes a move on the inside in the turn. Let's see if he can make it stick. He's not sliding up. He's definitely got him by a car length there, as Cole Gray now is in your 7th position. It looks like Jason Gardner might take advantage of that little bit of space that Cole Gray created and take it away from Compagnani as well. And I think Jason Gardner might just have it after this turn. Let's go ahead and find out. They're door to door. Coming out of the turn, Jason Gardner. Oh, they got really close. No contact, though, as they are neck and neck. Jason Gardner's got that inside line, though, which is going to be a little bit faster, and he's probably going to have Compagnani coming out of this turn as he does. Corey Cook went into the pits. Not entirely sure what happened. Looks like we're actually going to have a green flag pit stop for tires all the way around. Let's see if Cook can make it out of this pit stall position without slapping a wall or burning out and losing it. And he does. Looks like he is a lap down though. No, Cook is not a lap down. Yes, he is a lap down. So we'll see if he's able to make that up. With the rest of our leaders having headed down pit lane, a little over 40 laps on all of their tires, I'd imagine. Don't know when all of them took them last, but definitely looks like Corey Cook gained a lot of speed with that fresh set of rubber as he passed Tanner Long pretty quickly there. Gonna have to imagine Tanner Long's gonna head into pit, and he's not. As Corey Cook moves up to 10th position, Turnmeyer Jr. is just merging on. Cole Gray is now going to be your leader. Don't know if he went into the pits and got tires yet, though. We have Compagnani now in 2. Diego Ascensos in 3rd. Bill Dart 7th. Tanner Long 5th. And then we have J.W. Miller in 6th, who seems to have won that race off a pit road with the few who did head down there initially. Corey Cook worked his way from 11th to 7th position with that early pit stop. See if he can't manage to sneak his way up a couple more positions in the top 5. I have to imagine that Cole Gray, Campagnani, Asensos, and Long are all going to need tires before long. As we go ahead and look at J.W. Miller, who seems to be coming up on lap down traffic of Bruce Pearson. And, oh no! Who was that? We have a green, or a yellow, I'm sorry. Jade Bell. What happened there? Let's go ahead and rewind a bit. And that's the good thing with, such a small field, is that when someone makes a mistake, more often than not, they're the only one paying for their mistake. As it looks like he might have just overdrove that corner a bit, carried too much speed into it. And I don't know if you've driven these 87 cars, but you do need to turn the wheel quite a bit to get them to turn. It's not like driving a truck or one of the cup cars. And sometimes after some tire wear, it's pretty hard to figure out where you got to back off of the throttle when you've got the wheel turned that much going into or out of a corner. As we go ahead and take it live, looks like we've got Jade Bell trying to take care of some damage. Scott Patton, Cole Gray, and friends. Tanner Long too. Doesn't look like Tanner Long did. We did have some of those guys that were just leading though head into the pits for tires. So they're going to have a little bit fresher tires. I don't think that we're going to have this be their last set. Even if we were to run green all the way, I think we'd have some people end up taking a new set at some point. And Tanner Long does duck in there along with Jason Gardner. Going to have to imagine that they're going to take a set of tires. We've got Corey Cook in there getting new tires. Let's see if he hangs out to get any damage taken care of. Looks like that's what Jade Bell is doing. Or perhaps he may have parked it. He is 5 laps down. And Corey Cook's going to be off, so we're not going to take care of any damage. Let's go ahead and join J.W. Miller in the cockpit and take a look at that pace car. He is going to have to battle the lap down traffic of Bruce Pearson, and I can't quite tell who's in front of him there. Is that Turnmeyer Jr.? That is Turnmeyer Jr. Turnmeyer Jr. is currently 2 laps down. Unfortunate turn of events for him and that Ford Thunderbird, as it looks all types of tore up. He was our winner last week. It's going to take a bit of a miracle here for him today to win this week. Currently 10th overall in standings and currently 10th in standings here at this race. So luckily for him, with the small field, he's probably not going to drop too far. So we go ahead and join our leader again, J.W. Miller. Lights are off on the pace car, so we're going to be green next time by. Everybody watching, appreciate it. If you haven't already, feel free to give me a follow. It would be much appreciated. I'm currently broadcasting the Slide Job Retro Thunder League every Friday night. I might be broadcasting a new Trucks Leagues here on Saturdays, so keep an eye out for that. And every once in a while I jump on and stream my own racing endeavors. As the pace car is off, Turnmeyer Jr. is going to start us off here as we are green. Jade Bell's still hanging out in the pits. J.W. Miller is going to be your leader as he tries to contend with the lap down traffic of Turnmeyer Jr. and Bruce Pearson. Let's go ahead and zoom in on Cole Gray, who is technically in second place. Don't believe he's taken tires yet, though, as he's got all sorts of lap down traffic in front of him to contend with, as Bill Dart starts to make a move on him from the outside. Bill Dart is technically a one lap down as well. 3 wide now. Can everybody hold it? J.W. Miller's getting awfully close to Gardner as Corey Cook kind of gets his nose into there. We're about to be 3 wide again here unless Corey Cook backs off, and he does. Tanner Long's losing it, though. Can 41 get out of the way? No, he cannot. 41's going to get taken out as well as Compagnani. Oh, that's such an unfortunate turn of events for Cole Gray. So let's go ahead and watch that replay real quick. We saw it live. We were right there. But we've got 5 laps until we go green again, so why not? Let's go ahead and join Tanner Long in the cockpit for this one. It looks like he might have just got on the brakes too much there. And it does look like Cole Gray sustained quite a bit of damage. Let's go ahead and go live and check out his front end. He's definitely going to be diving down into the pits, I'm sure. Finally grabbing that set of tires he's been holding off. Oh, and he doesn't. He tries to fake everybody out, too. Cole Gray is currently sitting in 4th place after that. And we have a new leader in Diego Ascensos, I'm showing. I don't think I have seen him lead a lap yet all year. He is going to be your first place after this restart, though. As I'm showing Ascensos, Gray, and Pearson, your 1, 2, 3. J.W. Miller currently sitting in 4th. Jason Gardner in 5th. Julio Cesar Compagnani, that 26 car that got caught up in that incident with Tanner Long, is sitting in 5th place. We have Gardner in 6th, Corey Cook in 7th, Bill Dart 8th, Tanner Long 9th, currently a lap down. Turnmeyer Jr. 3 laps down, and Jade Bell, the 14th, still battling it out, but he is 12 laps down behind the leader. So let's go ahead and join him in the cockpit. Take a look at that pace car. Still have lights blinking. bit. We've got Bill Dart sideways. My apologies, didn't realize I was still on mute. Let's go ahead and follow Bill Dart, get a little closer, and take it slow. Figure out what happened here on that restart. We see Marvin Turnmeyer Jr. overtake Corey Cook up there up front. Looks like there might have actually been a little bit of net code there. You can see the 7 car of Dart like get down, but it doesn't look like the 9 of Asensos actually touched them. And everyone's able to get out of the way. I'm going to chalk that one myself up to netcode. Unfortunate turn of events there for everybody involved. Going to be about 28 laps to go when we finally do make it green. Let's go ahead and head back live. JW Miller is going to be your leader now. Bruce Pearson right behind him in second. And we've got Jason Gardner in third. We have not talked to Gardner yet. Let's go ahead and drag him down into the broadcast booth. Hey there, Jason. It's Travis in the broadcast booth. How's it going?
Alright, I'm doing good. How about you?
Pretty good, man. We see you sitting in third place now with about 30 or so laps to go. Do you think you can hold this spot? Do you have the tires to go all the way?
I got 4 fresh tires at the last caution, and I managed to get the car fully repaired from when we hit the wall earlier in the race, so I should have enough pace to, if not stay up here, but actually probably go for the win.
All right, good to hear. We're definitely going to be keeping our eyes on you then. Is there anything that you think you have an edge on the guys in front of you? JW Miller's been fast all day. You got any tricks up your sleeve for him?
I'm gonna try to hold on to my right front tire as long as I possibly can. Then I'm gonna try to use it up right when they start to slow down.
All right, well, let's keep watch out for that strategy. We hope it plays off for you, man. Best of luck the rest of the race.
All right.
And everybody, that was JW Miller, the number 93 Ford Thunderbird machine. We haven't seen him up front that much all day. We have in previous races. That caution might have just been what he needed, though, as he is now sitting in third place with about 32 laps to go. He says that he can make Jason Gardner. My apologies. Jason Gardner, not Jason Miller. That whole J thing's throwing me off a little bit tonight. We have Jason Gardner finally sitting in third place. Lights off on the pace car. Let's see if he can take it. As we have the lap down cars making their way on the inside of Turnmeyer Jr. and Tanner Long. And Miller's going to hammer it. We're going to be green here on lap 174. About 25 laps left here. Currently following Jason Gardner, trying to make his way through the lap down traffic of Tanner Long. I am showing, oh, Tanner Long lost the bit again. And it sounds like someone might have got caught up into that. Jason Gardner's going to throw himself into the wall. Let's rewind there and see what happened. Unfortunate string of cautions. Let's go ahead and slow it down now. Tanner Long once again going into that corner. And not quite sure what he's doing, but he's losing it into those turns. Jason Gardner manages to get by. Corey Cook gets by. Asensos gets by. Looks like a little bit of netcode maybe again, or maybe it's just me not being completely synced with the server. But it looks like either Asensos or Campagnani got into the back of the 42 of Tanner Long a little bit there. As we're going to go ahead and bring it live. We're going to have a couple more laps until we go green. I am going to go run and refill my water glass real quick. I'll be back with you in just a moment. Alright, and we are back here. Gonna have about 20 laps to go in round 3 at Richmond Raceway for the Slide Job Race League 1987 Retro Thunder Series. Currently have J.W. Miller in first, Bruce Pearson in second, and Jason Gardner in third place. Corey Cook not far behind him now, actually in fourth. That last caution might have saved him a little bit, as he was under threat of being a lap down car not long ago. Now he's going to have to battle Jason Gardner for a top 3. We have Turnmeyer Jr. up there, still showing him 2 laps down. Was again our leader last week and race winner, but unfortunately got tangled up in a couple messes and isn't having as good of a showing this week. We have lights out on the pace car, so we are going to be green next time by. And pace car is off. J.W. Miller hammers it. Turnmeyer Jr. keeps right up with him, though, as we are green. Got the 7 car of Bill Dart lap down next to the number 20 of Bruce Pearson, as Turnmeyer Jr. holds that lower line well. Corey Cook working his way up to the 93 now. 93 is also right behind the 20. Looks like we might go 3 wide briefly in this turn, but we do not, as Bill Dart checks up a bit. 61's working his way on the 93 of Gardner, and he's got the inside. If he can hold that inside line, which we've seen him do all day through this turn, he'll have it. And Gardner looks like he might have just gave it to him. We just spoke with Gardner briefly, and he said he's trying to hang on to that right front. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see him gunning it in about 10-12 laps or so, and hope to make up this lost gain on Cook back then. As J.W. Miller still contending with the lap down traffic of Turnmeyer Jr., might give a chance for Pearson and Cook to catch up. And Cook makes his way through down underneath the 20 car of Pearson. And we're going to see if Corey Cook manages to make his way back up to the Miller machine, as Turnmeyer Jr. loses it just a little bit and gets down low, lets everybody by. Corey Cook about a second behind the J.W. Miller car now. We'll see if he's able to catch up there. He's been pretty fast all day, 40 laps led. As we go ahead and join J.W. Miller now up at the front. Jason Gardner trying to catch up to Bruce Pearson to secure that top 3 position, as we're about to have 15 laps to go here at Richmond, so things will surely start to heat up. Let's go ahead and join Jason Gardner real quick. And look behind him as we've got Bill Dart and Turnmeyer Jr., both of which are a lap down, battling the 9 car of Diego Ascensos, who is currently in 5th. As Jason Gardner almost thought he had a run on the 20 car, but not quite. So we go ahead and join Bruce Pearson. Little bit of a gap separating him and Corey Cook. But it could be pretty interesting here for this top 3 spot, as we end lap 186 here. And Corey Cook trying to take that exit just a little too hot and loses it. Oh, that's a crucial error that's going to cost him, as Bruce Pearson is now in 2nd place and Jason Gardner in 3rd. About 2 seconds separating Miller from Pearson. Don't know if Bruce is going to be able to make that up in the next 12 laps or not. Jason Gardner, though, is right behind Bruce Pearson. Going to be battling him for that 2nd place position. As we go ahead and look at Diego Ascensos, who's going to have to battle the lap down traffic of Bill Dart if he wants to have the opportunity at contending with Gardner and Pearson for those top positions. We'll see if he's able to do that over the course of the next 10 laps or so. We've got Cole Gray still running. That 41 car has been caught up in quite a few accidents, at least 2 if not 3 if I'm remembering correctly, that weren't quite at the fault of them, just wrong place, wrong time. They've been doing a lot of work in pit road, but they still have not been able to take care of all the damage on that car. And I wouldn't be surprised if that rear spoiler is affecting the downforce and the handling of the car just a little bit. As it looks like Gardner now starting to make a little bit. Oh, nope, there's still a pretty good gap separating the 20 car and the 93 car. Let's go ahead and look at Julio Cesar Compagnani. He's trying to catch up to Corey Cook now, the number 6 position. Don't know if Cook's going to be able to catch a top 5 without a caution to help him after making that little bit of driving error out of turn 4 a few laps ago, causing him to spin out into the infield. As we go ahead and join Gardner again, Miller's just pulling away now, a whole 3 seconds separating him, Pearson, and Gardner. So without a caution and 9 laps to go, unless J.W. Miller shoots himself in the foot, it's looking like he may be your leader of this race and winner of this race. As we go see if the 93 car can't make a move on the 20 of Pearson. Have the 7 of Bill Dart holding off that 9 of Ascensos, who almost lost it. Ascensos gets into the wall a little bit. No harm, no foul. He was one of the lucky ones who was not thrown into the wall down on the inside / infield grass. It does seem like these 87 cars kind of just bounce right off the wall. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. Cole Gray trying to catch up to the 9 of Ascensos, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be happy with the top 5 after the racing here today. Let's go ahead and look at our leader again. A whole 100 laps led. J.W. Miller leading officially over half of your race now. He's currently 2nd in the point standings. I'd have to imagine that a win here would boost him into 1st place overall, as I'm not sure if he got into the wall there, if that was just the cause of his connection issues. As we go ahead and take a look at Bruce Pearson now, currently still comfortably in 2nd, as we are officially 5 laps to go. We heard Jason Gardner say that he was going to hold on to that right front tire. Now is the time to let loose, so we'll see if that served him well as he makes a move on the inside. He's holding that apron. That's the fast line. That's where you want to be. Looks like he's got the speed coming out of that corner, and he's going to have the inside line once again. Looks like Gardner may officially have 2nd place, and he does, as there's at least a car length and a couple tenths of a second separating him and Pearson now. We'll see if he can hold it. There's about 5 seconds separating Gardner and Miller, so I'm not sure if Gardner's going to be able to do anything about 1st. But it does look like he's starting to pull away from Pearson now. Diego Ascenso still has to battle the lap down traffic of Bill Dart in that number 7 machine before he has anything to say about getting past the 20 of Bruce Pearson. So he definitely has his work cut out for him if he wants to get a top 3 finish. 2 laps to go here. As we go ahead and look at the J.W. Miller machine, nobody around, so we're going to go ahead and look at Jason Gardner. He has separated himself by about half a second between him and Pearson, as Diego Ascensos was able to make it past Bill Dart, as Bill Dart gets into the wall and almost ruins the day of Cole Gray for a 4th time. Luckily, Cole Gray is able to make it past. Let's see if Ascensos can do anything in the final lap. Probably about a half second separating him and Pearson, as Pearson looks to have overdriven that corner trying to catch up to Gardner, and this could be Asenso's chance for a top 3. If he can get lucky again and gain a little bit on the 20 car, it could be his, as the 41 of Cole Gray looks to have had a bit of a run and might be holding back the 41 as the fireworks start going off. And we have J.W. Miller, Jason Gardner, Bruce Pearson as your 1, 2, 3. Diego Asensos officially finishing in 4th position. Cole Gray in the 41 is going to round out your top 5. As you can hear the fireworks going off and watch them head down pit lane. And we're going to go ahead and look at J.W. Miller now for his burnouts, and he almost throws it into the wall. And that is going to be the first win for J.W. Miller. And that's probably going to put him first overall in the point standings. I'm showing Jason Gardner unofficially as 2nd place. Bruce Pearson as 3rd. Let's go ahead and bring the standings up now since Miller appears to be finished. Miller, Gardner, Pearson is your 1, 2, 3. Diego Asensos in 4th. Cole Gray finished 5th. That'll round out your top 5. Corey Cook in 6th. Julio Cesar Campagnani finished 7th. Bill Dart in 8th. Tanner Long 4th. Marvin Turnmeyer Jr. is going to finish 10th, 35 laps down. Jade Bell in 11th, who's only showing 4 laps down. Scott Patton in 12th. Corey Steinhauser in 13th. Marquis Smith unfortunately finished 14th after retiring early. John A. Martin is going to be finishing 15th after qualifying pole position. That has to feel bad. And then Anthony Marshall will be finishing in 16th position. And that is it for your unofficial point standings. Jason Gardner is still hanging around, so let's go ahead and drag him down real quick for a winner's interview. Hey there, Jason. It's Travis again in the broadcast booth. How's it going?
All right, how are you?
Pretty good, but probably not doing as good as you. That was a pretty strong 2nd place finish there. How do you feel about it?
It was a very hard fought 2nd place, because by halfway through that last run, my car just started to push really bad. But I told my crew chief I'll apologize to the right front tire after the checker flag is flown.
Were you able to hold on to it for the first 10 laps or so? Because you definitely made a move on Bruce Pearson with 5 to go, and there was nothing he could do about it. You put about a half a second between you two.
Yeah, about a lap or 2 prior, I kind of calmed myself down, let the right front tire kind of cool off a little bit, and then when I saw he made a little mistake, I went for it.
All right, well, good to hear. That 2nd place position is probably going to jump you up in the top 10 in point standings, I would imagine. So congratulations on that, and best of luck to you next week.
All right.
Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to that might watch the race later?
I want to give a shout out to my team in another Discord, Attrition Sim Race Campus. They do mostly road racing, but we also do some oval. Where I just want to give them a shout out.
All right, well, we will see you next week there, Jason. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, see you then.
And that is going to do it for everybody here at Richmond. We hope that you join us next week, and we are going to go ahead and raid Justin Botello's channel.